improve your social media profile with your purpose, with your passion is one thing that I would say. Put a lot of character into it. This is an About Me page, which they're great. They're just so big and colorful. If you don't have one, they're really simple to set up. Take you less than an hour, probably 30 minutes or even less. But it's just a place for your kind of personal profile to be centered on the web. And be real when you're creating it. This is I don't have a lot of these kind of graphics, but this one I thought was kind of cool. Different stages of, I think Noam actually sent me this one, different stages of use on the internet. You have people that are kind of inactive, aren't doing anything. Spectators who are just kind of reading stuff, listening to stuff. People that join stuff but don't actually do anything more than join. People who collect stuff, like I need all this data and information because someday I'm going to read it. Critics, right? Okay, so you guys do that too, cool. Critics, I can say, well, this sucks, but yeah, that's the only thing that I'm going to say. And then creators. And the higher you go up in the ladder, the more engaged you are, the more attention you're going to draw, the more likely you're going to be able to build relationships. So I spent a few years blogging while I was traveling the world, just sharing my experiences. I'm sure you guys, if you've traveled, a lot of you have probably done the same. But after a year of that, I made a video that just told a story about some genocide that I learned about in Cambodia. And I told them that I wanted to build a library through Room to Read. And I put that out to everybody that I had built a relationship with over the past few years. And we raised, well, I say we, the money came in $14,000, and we built the library. And I didn't have a marketing strategy. All I did was share as much as I could. I've been open. I've been like, this is really who I am. And everybody that commented, I just interacted with them like just people, like I'd talk to you. Because this is the thing we forget. I mean, when you look at your device and you see all this stuff on the news feed, on the other end of that news feed is a living, breathing human being, right? To use the words of Maya Angelou, who like eat, cry, laugh, worry, and die. And they have feelings and they care and they're ready to connect with you if you just engage them in that way. Another way is to share your wisdom. Whatever you're good at, whatever you do, talk about it. Because there's people that are willing to listen. Okay, so don't just talk about it on Facebook maybe. Find a context, go into the groups, and share your experience. If you're good at fundraising, go talk about that. And don't look at it too as just, this is another important piece. When you go out and socialize, it's not just about finding the one person in the room who could be the donor. You're going to connect with everyone because you understand that it's not always the first person you connect with. They might lead you to somebody else. So don't be shy and don't shy away from the idea of just connecting with people because they're human beings who are somewhat affiliated with people who could lead you to people that could help you. Because it can work the same way. The wisdom that you have is your gift that you have to give. And the more you give that, the more people are going to respond by wanting to know you, wanting to connect with you even more. Making social media work. Don't be that guy at the party that's always trying to sell their stuff. I've kind of mentioned this a few times already because it came out, but it's like, you don't want to be that person that's like, okay, now that I've noticed that we've connected, okay, now buy my stuff. Or okay, now donate, right? You kind of let them go. You take your time. As we said, social media is like going to a party, right? Just chill. Socialize. Connect with people. Let the relationship build. And let them know what you do through your passion, through your purpose, and they'll come to you. Just like in real life, they will come to you. It takes patience. It's not like marketing. It's not like the old school marketing. It's about relationship building. Make them really know you through your blogging, through your videos, through your communication. And then meet them for coffee, right? Meet them for coffee. And then the analogy is the coffee metaphor. If it's not real life coffee because it's not a local thing that you're doing, meet them for metaphorical coffee, which going back, that's kind of what I meant here about your YouTube videos or your blog that's more about exactly what you do. So like social media is like hanging out at the party, your coffee shop is more like your blog. And then once you've kind of met up for coffee, then we can talk business. So then we can talk fundraising. And then you can come to my business website. Or then you can meet me in my real office. So take them in stages, just like you would in real life. Because it's not push marketing, it's pull marketing. That's what social media, that's how it works best. You create a relationship, and then they come to you because they know what you do. Telling stories, right? That's like one of the most engaging things. When you go to a party and socialize, who's the most interesting person in the room? The one telling the story. Stories are so engaging, and you can tell stories on social media too. Gossiping is storytelling. Gossiping is one of the oldest types of storytelling there is, and it's so interesting, right? You might think, well, you're telling stories about myself, I don't know, it's kind of boring. Like, God, what am I have to talk about? They're not interested in me. Have you noticed what people are interested in? Some very uninteresting stuff, you know, if you ask a lot of people. So people are interested in your story because it's just that you're a human being with some kind of something going on. It's just so interesting. That's how we learn. That's how we engage. That's how we connect. And sharing your stories doesn't mean to have to sell some long-winded story. It means talking about the bits of stuff that's going on in your life as it happens, as they know what the journey is. Well, leading up to this talk, I had a couple messages like working on this talk, this stuff's going on, you know, and I said, I have to tell you, I made a personal challenge not to mention the words Facebook or Twitter the whole time, but I already failed like miserably. I said it a few times. But I was leading up to this thing by just being open and engaging my Facebook friends with what I was up to. So by the time I said I'm going to this talk tonight, they had already known that I was on this journey. And it's not just some one-off thing, but it's that thing that John's been working on, and they kind of become a part of that journey. And then when I go home tonight and be like, rocked it, or it was great, or nobody liked it, and everybody kind of, one guy kind of started, and then everybody started, whatever I say, right? It's going to matter more to them. They're going to feel more a part of it because it's a whole journey. It's not just a one-off thing. So take them through that journey with you. Yeah, share your stories, good. And share other people's stories. Last night, this is one of my best friends in America. His name's Eric. And last night, I shared this story on my wall, which was a video he made. He made a video for a friend of ours. This is a beautiful ritual that she taught us about when somebody passes away, you let a balloon go and you watch it until you can't see it anymore. And she lives on the other side of the world from Eric, and her father recently passed, and he took a balloon out in the fields in America, and he made a video of it, letting it go until it was gone. It was a 5-minute video with beautiful music, and he posted it on her wall, and it was the greatest thing anybody had done for her, and it was beautiful. And so that was his story. That was his thing for her, but I shared that, just like we all share stuff that's beautiful, right? And because I shared that with my friends, that's me telling a story. Sharing is storytelling. When you take somebody else's story and you share it, that is storytelling. And you can share stuff not just because you love it, but also because 10 minutes? Cool. But also because you know that the people that you're connected with are interested in that as well. So pay attention. If you meet somebody and you know that they like truffles, what are you going to do next time you go and meet up with them? You're going to buy them truffles, right? So if you see somebody always talking about a particular thing or interested and you see something else and you think of them, share that article with them. Don't just share stuff that's interesting to you, but share stuff on their wall or email it to them. Even if you don't know them that well. Oh, I saw this article and thought of you. That's the kind of stuff. Truffles create connections, right? So yeah, liking, sharing, that's all storytelling. And the last piece, the most important piece. This is the best thing about social media from a business, from a fundraising standpoint, is that you can hear what they're thinking. You can hear what they're saying. You can hear what you can see what they're doing. You can't do that in classic marketing. You just give it out and statistically what's the response and you kind of engineer it and change it. But now you can engage. You can listen to your market, to your potential fundraisers, potential clients. Figure out what they're interested in. If you meet somebody tonight that they could be a good contact and you go home and you connect them on Facebook, don't just forget about it and hide them in your news feed. Some people are laughing because I know you've done it. I've done it. Don't just forget about them. Pay attention to them. See what they're interested in. And you might find out that, wow, they're into the same football team as me, or wow, they like cooking too. And then start talking to them about that. Just hold on with what you do with your fundraising, your business thing. Keep it there, keep the purpose, but just connect with them. Start conversations around their interests. And you do that by paying attention to what their interests are, because when they're talking on their newsfeed, it's like they're talking at the party. And if you're hiding them or not paying attention to them, it's like you just turn your back as soon as they start talking. They're giving you so much information about what it is that's important to them. And remember, this is important information about creating a connection, right? It's not like you're going to use that in your marketing strategy. You're going to create a new marketing message. It's like, hey, for people who love football, I'm selling, these hotcakes or whatever it is. No, it's just about that particular person, connecting with them. It's going to be different for each person. So listening. Just to recap, we talked about social media as a way, using it and having a way of thinking about it, right? Having an attitude and intention. Working on your social media skills. Realizing that it's different than marketing, using it in a different way. It's not about pushing your message out there. It's about human connection, which is better than branding. Creating real human connections. Making friends first, and then getting clients, allowing them to come to you because you're putting yourself out there with your passion, your purpose, and you're connecting with them, connecting with people. How are you doing it? Using the tools, but your focus is making real human connections, building trust through transparency, being real, right? You're socializing with purpose. You're knowing what your purpose is. You're putting it out there in your profile. You have that intention when you're communicating, and it comes through in what you do. You're sharing your wisdom, what it is you're good at, going and finding people that could learn from what you do, and just sharing with them, connecting, remembering that just adding that value will create human connections, and that could lead to things. You're telling stories. You're bringing people on that journey of what you're doing throughout your life. You're sharing other people's stories that are interesting for you, but also for them. And you're listening and figuring out what it is they're interested in. What do they care about? How can I emotionally connect with that person? Because I'm just trying to build a friendship. And at the same time, letting them know what I do and I'm passionate about. It's free. It doesn't take that much time. You know, I do well with social media, but I don't spend more than an hour a day on it. I really don't. And I'm counting the times when I'm just here and there. It's about doing it with purpose. And there's so many people out there. I always think about this. All the people that I've met through social media and all the stuff that's transpired from that. There was a moment, this is just a bizarre thing that I like. There was a moment just before I met them where I didn't know them. And they were as much a stranger as all the people right now that I am going to meet. And all the strangers that you are going to meet, they're just there right now, just in some sense waiting to be connected with you. And it depends on what action you take. It depends on how you engage people. And they're all around the world. And they're just waiting to be your friend. So I would say set your intention, go out there, and I hope that you are able to engage social media in a new way and build relationships. And that will help you achieve your purpose. I'm sure of it. Thank you.